Hi, gang. It's time for the New Variety Arts Show, and welcome once again to this week's edition. My name is Brad Zinn. I'm your host as we get ready to meet another variety arts performer of the 90s. You know, we have a chance to meet all kinds of interesting folks on our show, from clowns, mimes, hypnotists, jugglers, belly dancers, caricaturists, even opera singers have made it on our show, and we're glad that they did. The New Variety Arts Show gives you a chance to meet these performers one-on-one for a half an hour, and hopefully the next time you see one perform live and in person, you'll have a little better appreciation of what these people have gone through to deliver entertainment to you. We want to encourage you to phone us and call us and contact us and let us know what you think about our show, our little effort here. So wake the neighbors, call the kids, and call us. As always, the area code is in the Grand Canyon State, and tell us if you have an idea for a program or if you have a variety arts type event coming up. We'll do our best to try to promote it for you right here on the New Variety Arts Show. Right now we'd like to introduce you to our musical director, a man who's becoming more and more important to our show, Van Corrigan.
Oh, thank you.
As time goes by, we've just learned
time goes by.
more and more fascinating things. But that this could be the start of a beautiful friendship. You won't regret it now, but maybe tomorrow, maybe the next year.
No,
never mind.
You're right.
Yeah,
No.
I regret it now, as a matter of fact. Van, tell everybody where they can come and see you.
Come see me at the Fabulous Phoenician
The
Resort
Fabulous Phoenician.
for afternoon tea from 3 to 5 p.m.
And
7 days a week.
And you're playing a 9-inch baby grand, or what?
9 foot.
Oh, 9 foot.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's about the size of a hoagie, right?
Yeah, large hoagie. But yeah, it has the view of everything you
Of the
ever
valley.
wanted to see. Yeah, the best parts only.
Oh, good. Okay. Well.
And what are you doing?
We have a show coming up, and we'd like to invite everybody to come and see it. It's a benefit show for the Phoenix Breakfast Civitan Club. My show, The World of Illusion 92, Thursday, June 25th, 1992.
9 inches.
Yeah, at 7:30 p.m. Stop it, Van. At the Phoenix College Auditorium, doors open at 7 o'clock, and that's when you can get tickets. Just show up at the door. There'll be tickets there, and you'll have a chance to see our full evening of magic and illusion, and it's for a good cause to help send handicapped children to summer camp at Camp Civitan. Well, Van, we have a very interesting guest once again today.
Once again.
We spare no expense to bring the finest performers, and this gentleman is very special because he is the hypnotist to the stars. Yes, he's worked in Hollywood, California, and worked with a number of very famous people. We're going to talk about that with him. He is the past president of the California Professional Hypnotists Association. He's an instructor of hypnotherapy and holistic medicine, and he is a nominated Campus Entertainer of the Year with the National Association for Campus Activities. He tours 400 colleges a year across the country. 400, isn't that amazing? You and I are lucky to get 20 jobs.
Can't find a parking space today.
And he does his highly acclaimed comedy hypnosis show. He's our guest for today. We're going to go over and meet him. His name is Dr. Mort Berkowitz. So follow me. Here we go. Mort, thanks for being here.
Hello,
or is it
Brad.
Dr. Berkowitz?
No, it's Mort.
Okay, for today, it's Mort, and you can call me Mr. Zinn. No, I'm just kidding. You can call me Brad.
I
Thanks
was
for
going to call you Humphrey Bogart. That's a great impression.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Have you didn't work with Humphrey Bogart, did you?
No,
Hypnotist to the stars.
my time.
Ah,
before
okay.
My time. It
Well,
says here.
Well, you have quite an impressive resume. You're also not unfamiliar to radio and television yourself. I see by your resume you used to be the host of a radio show. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, that was about 5 years ago when I had the good fortune of living in Oklahoma City for a few years. Good fortune, I say. I did host a live self-help type program on KCNN in Oklahoma City.
KCNN in Oklahoma City.
Right.
Now, let's go back to the beginning here. Now, where are you from, and what about your education?
In this lifetime, or
in this lifetime? Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Do you do past life regression?
Oh, yes, I do.
Oh, do you?
I've done many of those.
And you've had some probably interesting experiences
Very interesting,
with that.
yes.
We'll talk about that in a minute, but we want to find out about you in this lifetime. Where you were born and raised, educated?
Well, I was born in the East, in New Jersey.
Not under a star.
Not under a rock or a star.
In New Jersey?
In New Jersey, yes.
Which exit?
32. Off
32,
the Jersey
okay.
Turnpike, right.
All right.
And we, when I was about 4 years old, we moved to New York, so I grew up in a suburb of New York, New Rochelle, which is in Westchester County.
New Rochelle. Now that's where Dick Van Dyke, Rob Petrie.
You got it.
Yeah,
he
that
was one of my neighbors during those days. Yes.
Morningstar Drive, Morningside Drive. Yeah.
Right, and so that's where I was raised and went to school. And after high school and college, I moved out to sunny Southern California. I lived in L.A. for a number of years.
You got tired of the cold and the weather, or
got tired of the cold and the weather? Yes.
Want to see the other ocean?
That's right.
That's right.
I
It was
loved,
Bonnie Meadow Road, by the way. Just to correct that. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
And did you have any studies in college that prepared you for the life that you have now?
Not really, no.
What?
No, I do. I had a background in psychology.
Oh, okay.
And I majored in psychology, but I never really used my degree. After I got out of college, I actually became, I worked for an insurance company, and I worked in the insurance industry for a number of years as an underwriter, life insurance underwriter.
Oh, no, there's an exciting life.
Very exciting. That's why I'm no longer a life insurance underwriter.
Mortality tables and all that kind of
and
stuff.
morbidity tables, yes.
You can use your psychology degree and examine us and why we're so nuts here on this show.
Oh, I'll never be able to figure that one out.
A little over your head. Well, when you moved out to California, then, is that when you began working with hypnosis?
Yes, I became, I saw a demonstration once, this was in California, in Los Angeles. A doctor performed surgery with this fellow, he was in his 50s, and no anesthesia, no drugs, the person was simply hypnotized. And this was major surgery, it was a thyroidectomy, he was cutting into the neck.
Gee.
And that blew my mind, and I wanted to learn more about the I mean, you know, it was really fascinating. So
as a student of psychology,
sure,
that would be
exactly
right up your alley there.
And so I read books on hypnosis, I took courses, just for my own interest. And little by little over the years, I found myself working with my friends and other guinea pigs as subjects. And I found that I was helping people, you know, with smoking cessation and weight control and so forth.
So you really started in clinical hypnosis then?
I started in clinical hypnosis, right.
And did you go in with another doctor or something like that? Is that?
Yes, I did for a while. I was the director of the Medical Hypnosis Center in Los Angeles, and my partner there was a medical doctor.
That's a pretty large facility, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good experience for me. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And we worked predominantly at that time in the area of medical hypnosis, helping people with pain alleviation and preparing people for surgery and dentistry, childbirth.
Is that anything like biofeedback? Because my mother went through a whole biofeedback thing for pain, and the tape they sent her home with to use at home to do her biofeedback was almost word for word what a hypnotist had given me for just relaxation. I found it very fascinating that they were so similar.
Right, and they are similar. And you know, I think hypnosis is very similar to other methods, meditation, transcendental meditation, some forms of yoga have elements of hypnosis in it.
Real quickly, can you define what hypnosis is and what it is not? Because a lot of people, there's some controversy over what it involves, and probably a lot of people have this image of hypnosis from the movies where it's a somnambulistic, what Machiavellian kind of,
Svengali type movies,
type of thing, and you can make somebody go out and commit a murder or something and not remember it. And,
right. Well, obviously it doesn't work that way. You really cannot get anyone to do anything that they wouldn't do normally, or against their moral or ethical code.
And that's because?
Well, that's because the nature of the subconscious, you're really not sleeping when you're hypnotized. You're awake, you're aware, and you have, even though your conscious mind is moved over, you know, normally our conscious mind is right here, right up front, and we think consciously, we analyze, we interpret. Under hypnosis, the conscious mind seems to be moved over. And we're still conscious when we're hypnotized, but we're more on a subconscious level. So we have more access to that vast potential within our subconscious and the creativity and the imagination and so forth, which all really has to do with the subconscious mind.
Right. So you are a registered or certified
hypnotherapist, right.
And is that takes some time and study to
Yes, it
to
did.
achieve?
I chose to. Most states in this country do not have licensing laws, but I chose to go the route of becoming certified and getting my own personal license, so to speak.
Sure. Before we started the program here tonight, this is very ironic that this week in the mail came the Mayo Clinic Health newsletter. I don't know if we might be able to get a shot of this. This is from the prestigious Mayo Clinic back in Rochester, Minnesota. And a lot of folks, because there is controversy over hypnosis, what it is and what it isn't, and whether or not it can return memories to like child abuse victims when they're adults, and you know there's some legal cases coming up regarding that. But back here on the back page where it's the second opinion, they have questions that the doctors answer. And one of the questions this month, May of '92, was, can hypnosis help me stop smoking? And the doctors go on briefly to say that they can't cite a study, but doctors sometimes recommend hypnosis as part of an overall smoking cessation program. And it accompanies behavior modification and nicotine replacement. And rather than put you to sleep, hypnosis is increased relaxation. You have a narrowed focus of attention, heightened sense of suggestibility. And basically they endorse the use of that as something that people can use for medical benefits.
Right, and the AMA, in fact, validated hypnosis many years, in 1958. And so they validate as a viable tool to use in certain situations, as an adjunct to other medical tools.
Super. Now that's clinical hypnosis, where we help people with pain and weight control and all those good things that we want to be better people. When did you first start getting involved with hypnosis as a public entertainment?
Well, you know, as a hypnotist or hypnotherapist, and as a person, you go to parties and gatherings and so forth. Invariably, if people know that you're a hypnotist, they ask you to demonstrate. Let's see what you can do. Hypnotize me. So I started doing this in a very small way at parties and at fraternity parties and so forth, doing little demonstrations. And it just evolved into something bigger and bigger in terms of the nature of the show that I developed, that now I do it on a pretty large scale.
Mm-hmm. Now you've got the moniker or the title there, Hypnotist to the Stars. I suppose living in Los Angeles and in Southern California, you probably came in contact with some celebrities, movie stars, and what was your involvement with them?
Well, I was very fortunate for a while in my private practice in Los Angeles. I worked with one actress. She came to me to lose weight initially.
This wasn't Delta Burke, was it?
No, it wasn't Delta Burke.
Okay.
It was, actually, her name was Candy Clark. I don't know if you ever remember her. She was in the original American Graffiti, and she's done a lot of TV work. Yeah. She got
and we're now going to have a lawsuit that we've mentioned her name. That's right.
Well,
lose weight, but she looks wonderful.
She gave me permission to mention her name,
good,
so it's okay.
So this was your first real
this
celebrity?
Was my first celebrity, or so. She wasn't a real top
well-known
actress,
person,
but she became so enamored with what happened through hypnotism, and I worked with her on and off for a period of about a year in various things, that she kind of spread my name around in the entertainment community. One of her good friends was Cheryl Ladd.
Oh, sure. Cheryl Stoppelmore, before she married Alan Ladd's son.
That's right. Yeah. So that's how my reputation,
kind of word of mouth,
spread through that community.
So you really worked with these people on a clinical basis first,
yes, right,
is that right?
On a clinical basis. Sylvester Stallone was one of my clients.
Really?
And,
Sly Stallone. Now,
Tanya Tucker.
Did you help him grow hair on his chest, or build his muscles, or?
Well,
what are the real secrets here of Sly Stallone? We want to know.
No, I really can't get into that, but I can tell you one thing that we were. As a matter of fact, this is public knowledge, and he
admits it himself.
Admits it himself. He was on a talk show once, and he mentioned the fact that he went to see a hypnotist. But he was in between Rocky 1 and 2, or 2 and 3, I don't remember. And he had so many things on the fire. He was directing, producing, acting, that he really wanted to see if he could find a method to help get his focus more clear and get more energy,
stress, that kind of thing.
Sure. So that's what we used hypnosis with Sly.
Very good. Any other juicy gossip for us from out of Hollywood here?
Well, you are.
We want the real
dirt.
You are curious. Did you work any Hollywood parties? Were you invited to Jack Warner's home or something?
No, not
Steven
really.
Spielberg's.
Not really. I went to a few Hollywood parties. I mean, just living in L.A.
Sure.
Knowing some of these people, you invariably are invited to a Hollywood party, and in fact, I went to a Hollywood party once, and there were a lot of celebrities there. I mean, I was in awe looking at all these people. And my brother was with me at the time, and I mentioned him. You know, I mean, I was trying to keep cool about it, and I said, the only the thing that would really make this party is if Cher was here. I really admired her at that time.
Cher walked in, yeah.
And my brother said, hey, turn around, look over there. And sure enough, there she was.
There she was. Well, fabulous. Well, let's talk about how you moved then from clinical hypnosis and working with all these fabulous stars to doing your show for the public more or less full. Now, do you still do clinical hypnosis?
Yeah, I still do clinical hypnosis.
But with your touring schedule now, that must be very tough.
It's very difficult. So it has evolved from being a hypnotherapist into being a stage hypnotist. But I still maintain my private practice here in the Valley.
In Phoenix. What brought you to Phoenix? When did you first come to the Valley?
Well, actually, as I said, I moved from Los Angeles to Oklahoma City because I had some opportunity to work out there in the entertainment field. It was kind of a jumping off point for the rest of the country, and it was easier from there than from L.A. But my wife and I got tired of Oklahoma City, and we really didn't want to move back to L.A., to the rat race in L.A.
So you ran out of gas in Phoenix.
We split the difference, right?
Very good.
And I'm still close enough to Los Angeles. That's where I have most of my family and friends. So we can hop over there frequently.
I'm always fascinated to talk with people who are as successful as you are, that are able to live in Phoenix or some other location that is not like on the coast, and still be as successful as you are. Has living here impeded you in any way, or do people
not
think
really?
That guy from Phoenix, he couldn't possibly be any good? Or?
Well, it's a little better than Oklahoma City in that respect. So.
So, well, very good. You also, well, let's talk about when you got into colleges, or how you got into starting to do colleges.
Well, you know, when I first really got into the entertainment field with my show, I started in comedy clubs. And
now, give us a time frame for that. When
well, this was about 7 years ago. And I did and that's when I consider the beginning of my start as a stage hypnotist. And this was in Oklahoma City. And I kind of talked my way into Joker's Comedy Club as a headliner there, not knowing anything at all about comedy clubs. And they hired me for the week, and we had a good time doing that show.
Now, the average comedian in a comedy club, the opening act works, about 10 minutes, and the middle act works about 15, and the headliner works 45 minutes to an hour,
exactly.
I would guess. So, tell us now, because hypnosis, I would think, would be very difficult to do in a 15 to 30-minute spot. Tell us what's involved in your show. If people came to see you, what would the show be?
Well, first of all, I get up there and I talk for about 5 minutes. I'm not a stand-up comic, so I don't do any stand-up, but I do talk about hypnosis. And what I'm doing is I'm trying to condition the audience in that talk, so that by the time I ask for volunteers to come up on stage, if I do my job right as conditioning the audience, I will get the cream of the crop, the people who are most suggestible in that audience. And then at a certain point I do ask for volunteers after having explained that hypnosis is easy and everyone can go into hypnosis. Or what I usually say on stage is that 95% of the people can become hypnotized, the other 5% are retarded. So that brings the intelligent people up on stage, and I hypnotize the people on stage and go from there. Take them through. My show has a kind of a theme to it, and one part of the show is where I try to really dig into people's subconscious and the potential within the subconscious, and bring out talent. Hidden talent, talent that people sometimes don't even know they have.
Most performers are very shy, and performing is a way to overcome shyness, but there are people who go their whole lives just wanting to perform, but they're too shy. They can't overcome the shyness enough, so hypnosis is their chance to get up and do it.
Absolutely, because when you're hypnotized, you're very loose and relaxed and very uninhibited.
And they also have a good excuse, too, because if their friends out there in the audience say, "Do you know what you did?" they can always say, "Oh, I don't know, I was hypnotized."
Exactly.
Yeah. It's a release valve if they want to cop out,
It is, and it's, I mean, I still find it fascinating when I see people who are very shy and introverted, and yet under hypnosis they really let loose. They come out, they become very animated, and in fact, it helps them on a more permanent level quite often. A lot of the, because I really have another reason of doing the shows, even though the thrust of it is for entertainment. But in my little subtle way, I really do try to help people that respond to hypnosis.
You know, there are a number of hypnotists working across the country in Canada, and I'm sure around the world, and a lot of them, sad to say, the really unprofessional ones, I would guess, really just get people up to embarrass them and berate them and make them look like jerks and fools in front of an audience. But the really good hypnotist knows how to avoid that, and it's been many years since somebody came along and did a hypnosis show and then actually tried to help in a way the people, so they benefit, so they feel good about having gone through the experience.
Exactly, and I pride myself in doing that, and I think the reason it's easy for me to do that is because of my background as a hypnotherapist. I can really take that on stage and use some of that knowledge and that training.
Have you ever had somebody that just seemed like maybe they weren't going to come out of it? I mean, I know you can always get somebody out of it, but have you ever had a problem with somebody?
I've had a few times. As you say, everyone comes out of it. There's no danger there whatsoever. But there have been instances where I ask someone to wake up or open your eyes, and nothing happens. They're still there. What normally happens is the reason that this happens is because that individual is normally the type of person that is so neurotic or so nervous, a lot of nervous tension in their waking life and everyday life, that when they get into hypnosis, they find it so pleasant and so relaxing that when they hear the hypnotist say, wake up, say, nothing doing, fella, I want to stay here, this is too nice.
Right.
And so they really don't want to respond at that moment.
It's a good warm feeling, because I've been hypnotized several times in my life, and it is a really, when you've had a hard day and a long day, it's as restful, really, an hour on stage with a hypnotist as they say, like 8 hours of.
It can be equivalent to a number of hours of sleep, right? Yeah. I could wake you up now if you want.
Oh, good, yeah, because you've got me mesmerized here. Tell me about this. I see here you received an award from the American Cancer Society. Why don't you tell us?
Yeah, well, that was with my work in. It started in Oklahoma City. The American Cancer Society contacted me because they heard about my success rate in my smoking cessation programs with private clients. So they asked me actually to develop their smoking cessation programs for them in the Midwest, which I did. So for about 6 years, I conducted those programs, group programs, in the Midwest. We had a very, very high success rate.
And they gave you an award for that?
They gave me an award.
It was the coveted Lifesaver Award.
Right.
1987. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Very good.
You.
Let's talk about your college tours now. You're doing, what, 400 colleges a year, something like that?
Well, not quite that. I'm doing about, let's see, last year I did about 100 a semester, about 200 a year.
Uh-huh. That's got to be grueling. A lot of traveling.
A lot of traveling.
Do you hypnotize yourself when you go on the plane?
I think I do. I have to get myself into a frame of mind to really do that. But I enjoy traveling. I enjoy meeting new people, meeting the students. You know, I mean, every school I do is a new adventure for me. I really enjoy it.
How do you think why do you think the college students respond so well to hypnosis shows? Because I know that everywhere you go, they love what you do, and maybe in some other venues you might not get that kind of outpouring of affection and response.
Right. I think, first of all, it's the age. Younger people respond a lot easier to hypnosis than older people.
Middle-aged or older.
Because as we get older, I think we kind of we probably use our conscious mind a lot more, and that's that thinking mind, that critical mind, and we analyze perhaps a little too much. And so the students really get into it because they're very open, they're very open to the techniques of hypnosis, and they really put on, the best shows I've ever done have been on the college market.
Yeah, and you were nominated Campus Entertainer of the Year.
Yes, I'm really
an honor that goes to very few people, I might add.
Yeah.
So, folks, we want you to look for Mort Berkowitz somewhere near you sometime, hopefully in the near future. Are you going to be playing any of the colleges here in Arizona soon? Or?
Not in the immediate future. Probably in the fall I will.
In the fall of '92, so we'll look for that. What are some of the other colleges, in case we have visitors from out of state maybe that are headed home?
We're heading toward Dallas, Texas, doing a few shows there. I'm doing a county fair in San Antonio in June of '92, and then in the fall I'll start start up again in the college market all over the country.
All over the country. We were going to talk about life regression, and we didn't get much of a chance. Will you come back again sometime?
I'd love
we'll
to,
talk
Brad.
about that. And you believe in reincarnation? Is that right? I mean, past lives.
I've seen some very interesting things.
Have you done some research in that area?
Yes, I have.
Do you have people, when you do life regression, do you have them go follow up and see if they can find out information about whether
Yeah,
or not they...
we've checked up on some of the things that they've described under hypnosis in that so-called past life, and it's very interesting.
Now we hear that everybody that undergoes life regression, everybody what used to be Napoleon or Cleopatra or somebody, and nobody was ever a street sweeper in Middle Europe. So
I've gotten people back, and they were normal people. Although a lot of people do go back to famous famous events and famous people.
Right.
And in those cases, it may or may not be real, but we also have a way of determining that.
Of testing that,
yes.
It'll be a whole nother show, and we'll have you come back and do
Great.
that. Dr. Mort Berkowitz, thank you for being here. And Van Corten, thank you for being here again. Wake up, you'll feel fully refreshed, and we'll see you next week, Van. Join us again next time, same public access channel station for the new Variety Arts show. In the meantime, everybody, please support Variety Arts in your community. Bye-bye, everybody.